All right, so I'm going to just go over the training on the Mindray anesthesia machine. We'll go over the startup of the machine, the leak test, and then setting up your circuit and just some of the other things that need to be turned on and checked prior to use. So to turn the machine on, you just flip your lever to the right there. While that's doing its like startup, you can put your circuit on. Just no way out of the bag, but so basically it doesn't matter which way you put this on. But I would just stick that one on there like that, and that like that. And then this can actually be clipped right here on this little holder to hold that in. And then you do have your cannula here. You're going to plug that into your gas module, which is going to be over here. The other thing to do, I don't know if you can see, but the other thing to do while you're over here as well is to make sure that your evacuation is on. This is your scavenger system, and there's a little float, and you want to make sure that this is on prior to your cases. This sucks all of your waste gases out. So you want this float to just be between the minimum and maximum line. So then next we'll go over the circuit leak test. Yeah, that's a good one to make sure it's on. Everything, the machine kind of walks you through it step by step. So you have all the different steps, even has little pictures. But basically it says seal the Y piece as shown. So the Y piece is this part of your circuit. Basically we take this portion off and we just keep this on and we seal this into our little block port right there. The next step, it says ensure that the sample line is included. We do not have the sample line attached, so it is included. Ensure that the sample gas outlet line is connected. Install the manual bag. So that's your bag here. I should have installed this earlier. Make sure this is on. Just all flow meters to 0. These are your flow meters. If this was on, it'll not allow you to continue. It'll even tell you here. So you want to, but just make sure you know that these are all to off. Set your auto manual switch to auto. So we're doing the auto portion of the test first. So you flip the lever to auto. We ensure the CO2 absorber canister is closed. That's this portion. It is currently closed. That is open. So you want to make sure that that's closed. And you press the O2 flush button to completely fill the bellows. So here's your O2 flush. This is your bellows. Press this. Fills up to the top. And you press continue. So now it runs through its automatic portion of the test. Takes, I don't know, like 30 seconds, possibly. Okay, so that passed. You can click continue. Next is your manual circuit leak test. First step, adjust APL to 50. So this is your APL valve. We want to just adjust that over to 50. Make sure, again, these are at 0. Set your auto manual switch now to manual. So we're flipping this back to manual. Now we're just pressing the O2 flush button to fill your pressure gauge up between 25 and 35 millimeters of mercury. So I can move this for you there. Basically you're looking at this. And we just go right, I usually do it right to 30, right in between both of them, and you press continue. Before I press continue, you do have the option to skip. The option was on this first page as well, so if you ever had like an emergency case and you're like running in here, you can skip this whole portion and get right to the machine. But this is recommended every morning to do this test. So now this is just doing the manual portion of the system. Okay, so that passed. The only thing after, you want to put your APL that valve back to SP, spontaneous. You want the system to be open, and then you press continue. The next thing, it goes through like a whole perioperative checklist thing. I'm not going to go through every one of these, but it basically is kind of giving you, make sure there's tanks on the back. There's a lot of check that this is on. It kind of goes through all of that stuff. So you can read that in your own time. Continue. Continue. Now the machine is in standby, ready to go. ready for the CRNA or anesthesiologist to start the case. There's really not much to do on here. The only thing that you guys might want to know is how to change the time. Click it. Very easy. The other thing it's nice to know, sometimes an anesthesiologist will leave the room and the machine's going to be alarming and beeping. If the machine is left on and you're done with your case, to put the machine into standby, you can't put it into standby while it's flowing gases. You will have to turn the gases off. Now, if you turn the gases off but don't put it into standby, which is what happens a lot, it will alarm and it's just going to keep making noise. So if you ever come in and it's alarming, no gas, you just press end case and you say, yes, I'd like to, and that's how you put the machine into standby. So this is your Sotazorb. This is where you'll be, putting the containers in here. So basically, it'll come in a pre-packed container. You put it in here, put that in here, and you'll shut it like that. The one thing to do periodically is that this will get moisture in it. This is where the moisture will sit from the just the use. So sometimes you want to wipe this out, with a rag or something, and just clean that out. That's good to do. It just depends on use, but I would just keep an eye on that when you're changing that Sotazorb out. The other thing is there is a water trap right here. So this you really want to just have water in here because this is a warm breathing system, but make sure that this is connected and installed completely because if it's not, you won't pass your leak test. So that's one part there that you need to check. Just push it up and you'll feel it clip in there. The other thing that can cause a leak, if this is not down all the way, so this pops off, if this is sitting like that, it's going to cause a leak and it won't pass its leak test. So that's another area that make sure that that's pushed down. Sometimes it gets popped up, somebody cleaning it or clean it in here, they push it up. So that's a good one to check. The other thing to check is just to make sure that your circuits are on tight. Sometimes people just put them on like that and that'll cause a leak and it won't pass the leak test. So you want to make sure these are, you really put them on and then you kind of twist like a quarter turn. And then, so that'll be tight. That's kind of the basics and the main areas that we've seen kind of leaks. That's pretty much it.